Hello everybody, my name is Will and welcome back to Sprocket. Today we're going to be building an anti-air, as we should now be able to fire at our loaders to reload guns much quicker, which we've not been able to do for a little time now, and it should be quite effective in the June scenario. So hopefully we can build something good here, and yeah, without any further ado, I'm just going to get right into it and start building. Righty-ho, ladies and gentlemen, I must warn you, what you are about to see is potentially one of the most cursed things that I have ever done. Not because it is particularly ridiculous or far-fetched, it is just morally and subconsciously wrong. There is something about this which is to the bottom of my soul. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but it is wrong. And so if you're not prepared for that, I mean, you've probably already seen it in the thumbnail and also probably the title and maybe even the description, but if you're not ready for it, just a fair warning, I'm letting you have time to mentally prepare for what you're about to see. I am currently building the hull of a Samoa, and what we're going to do with this Samoa is we're going to put the SKINK turret on it, which is just terrifying and awful and amazing at the same time. And I am dubbing it here, right now, in this moment in time, the French SKINK shall be called the Frink. It shall be called the Frink, and if it's not added to War Thunder within 2 weeks, I will riot. This thing's really big as well, in comparison to a lot of what I build, which means it's probably normally sized. It's not very heavy, in spite of its size. It's about, I believe it comes out to almost 30 tons, but it's only got like 60 millimeters of armor, 80 millimeters in the thickest spots. It's not the heavily armored beast that you might expect of like a 60-ton tank, so 30 tons is probably about right, and realistically, I've probably forgotten something somewhere that makes it that light. But anyway, we're building it, and there's nothing you can do about it now, because technically, by the time that you're watching this, it's long built. Yeah, you can't stop me now. If you do want to stop me in the future, you can leave your suggestions for what I should build instead of the Frink in the comments section down below, and yeah, I mean, we can just have a good old time building things that aren't completely horrific in every single sense of the term. Apologies, by the way, if you, A, hear anything through the wall. There seems to be some renovation work going on next door or something. I don't really know. It's fine by me. They can do what they want with their house. And apology number 2, I might sound just a little bit off because for whatever reason, and I don't feel ill, but I am just clogged up, and so I cannot breathe properly. That's maybe a little bit extreme, but you know what I mean. I'm sure you know the feeling, as I imagine it's quite common. Hopefully it's quite common. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe I'm just dying. Tends to be the case. I seem to be ill a lot, which a lot of people have picked up on. Also, something a lot of people have picked up on is the quantity of videos this week and like last week. It's probably not going to stay that way forever. Let me just warn you now. I can already feel it. I can already feel the ideas running out, but there were a lot of really cool things that I wanted to try in Sprocket, and then the collabs just came out left, right, and center with different people, and I needed to intersperse the right amount of content in between the uploads, and I could have maybe queued them and then just had a couple weeks worth of content, but I didn't feel right. I wanted to get it out of the door. I don't know. I did it, and we're here. It might hurt my algorithm a little bit uploading those collabs in such short succession from one another, because I don't know, views are down. But everyone seems to have views down at the moment, so maybe not. Speaking of views being down, if you want to help out, maybe, then all you gotta do is make sure that you're subscribed. I believe about 75% of you aren't subscribed. There's a lot of people as well who've messaged me in the past, or put a message in my Discord in the past, who are like, I've been watching for 3 years and I didn't realize I was subscribed. Don't be one of them. Be better. Be better. Do it now. Do it now, or I will never forgive you. Wow, that got real. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just going to leave it there. I caused so many problems with the geometry of this hull. It's a complex hull, right? These cast hulls are not easy, and I'd like to believe I've done it quite a fair bit of justice. Here you can see me trying to split down the middle. There were easier ways to do that, I will acknowledge, but that's the way that I chose to do it, by just matching the points of those two rectangles that I just extended out of the hull. And you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. And now we got these little bolt holes that we can slap a bolt onto, and when I say a bolt, I mean probably just one of these fixtures, because, good enough. The actual bolts, I mean, they might go big enough now, the rivet tool, but they didn't used to go big enough, so I'm just gonna kind of leave it. And we got these big old side doors, which I was really, really happy with. When I do put the armor on those side doors, they do have a little bit of Z clipping. I'm assuming it's because they have so many faces so close together. Yeah, oh well, close enough. And here I had to do like my own front fender because there was just no fender piece that looked quite right in that spot. To be entirely honest, that one doesn't look quite right either, and I probably also should have done one at the back, which I'm just realizing now, which is really annoying because this is pre-recorded and I can't go back and fix that. So there you go, that's just going to bother me and you for the rest of this video. It's okay, and I would like to apologize actually to a couple people right now, because some people have a love for the internal building section, and specifically human Tetris, because there is, well, sorry. The reason that I'm sorry is because in this one, we don't show that. And that is for a very, very specific reason, which I'm not going to spoil, but I do laugh like an absolute maniac after the building segment, so don't worry about it. It's fine. You will live. This is also the second stab I've taken at this kind of anti-air. I was originally building something kind of Crusader AA Mark II, but I made an absolute meal of it. It looked awful and I was going to have to start over. And as I was starting over, I realized it's not been that long since we built the vehicle based on the Crusader AA Mark I. So doing a Mark II and a Mark I within like 2-3 months of each other felt like a waste when we could do something a little bit more unique. As I've recorded this voiceover, I have actually noticed that I am getting progressively more and more ill feeling. So it looks like we're heading very much down that avenue again, which I'm sure I'm sure all of you are more than familiar with me being ill now, because it seems to happen concerningly often. However, we soldier on, because this video is so close to completion, and if I don't do it immediately right now, if I do get ill, then that's not good. Right, the SKINK turret. That's what we're building now. It is an absolute nightmare of geometry. This thing is absolutely horrific. There's so many weird little edges and so many little tiny tweaks that make it either look happy or angry. So difficult to make it not look like an angry spider. It's something that I realized after looking at this thing for such an incredibly long time. This took me so long. You're watching this recording at 600 times, not 600 times, that's absolutely ridiculous. 600%, 6 times speed, if you're wondering. So that is, you know, every 10 seconds you see is a minute of my time. And this time lapse is just about, I think it's about 11 minutes long. So this is an hour and 6 minutes of building, and there was quite a lot of tweaking that happened after I cut the camera here, just to get things looking right, and also to get it functional. And to be honest, this wasn't the longest build I've ever done. It's a reasonably chunky one, but I get to a point now I can build things quite quick, apparently. I don't know if that's a style or if that's like a problem or a flaw, and it is what it is. I just seem to be able to build these things fairly quickly, and I'm sure if any of you have downloaded these files, you can kind of tell that there's some corners cut here and there, but I'd like to think that they're not too obvious. I'd like to think that I'm building better than I used to. especially in Flyout, you know, looking back at some of those old videos, it's similar to the way that Sprocket went, to be fair, because if you look back, and fair warning if you are going to go look back, some of those videos have some heavy language. Crazy that I said so many swear words in those videos when I don't. So I don't swear in these videos, right? And that wasn't a conscious effort for me to not swear in these videos. It just kind of happened because I don't you don't need to swear in a Sprocket video. It doesn't really work with it. It doesn't fit the vibe that I'm going for, which is kind of like chill building energy with me just rambling on about absolutely nothing at all. So it just kind of naturally came about that I stopped swearing in these videos, and then after I realized that, I was like, well, I may as well not start again because it is what it is. So yeah, language warning if you go back to one of those older videos. I think they're quite funny in places, but yeah, if you are on the younger side and you don't want your parents listening in on horrific things, I don't know why I say horrific things. They're not that bad. I said the F word quite a lot. Then you can mute your video. I don't know. Do what you want to do. I'm not your dad. However, if your dad does hear it, then he might be disappointed in me and you potentially. But I can't rule that out that both of our dads are already disappointed with us. Clearly, we're both tank nerds, so it comes with the territory. I find. I know for a fact that my dad's disappointed in me. Dad, if you're watching this, that's a joke. He probably doesn't. I can't imagine he watches these videos. And if he does watch these videos, I can't imagine he sits through the entirety of these building segments. But if I'm completely wrong and he does watch these, then I'm sure I'm probably going to get a messenger message or something that's saying, how dare you? But there you go. That's the consequences of my actions, which is something that I'm just not very good at dealing with. I have no idea what I'm talking about at this moment in time. This is probably one of the most, impossible to follow building segments that we've had, and it's probably because I'm going absolutely insane at the thought of the Frink being nearly done. It's nearly there. We're nearly finished with the Frink. War Thunder, get on it. Add this to the game, and if you're not going to do it, World of Tanks, come on, step up your game. Let's do it. Frink time. Yeah, it's done. We're gonna play it now. Woo. Okay. Here is the finished product. It's a little bit scuffed. I've tried to put like a skink turret on a Samoa. I don't know. I mean, you can probably tell what it is. I don't know if it's a good look, but there you go. This took so long! And it doesn't even look very good. Oh, I'm so stressed! But we're gonna take it for a battle. Now, you may have noticed I cut out the part where I did the interior of this tank, partly because of time, and also partly because you may notice when I go to internal view some irregularities you may... You may notice some irregularities with the seating arrangement inside this tank. So we got a little bit of a party going on in the turret. We have the folded Jimmy back here. And up here in the front, we got 3 bean Jimmies just kind of doing their fine work to make this thing hopefully function. I can't really test it here because, well, I mean, you know what? We'll give it a shot, and you'll see why I can't really test it here. It's because the moment that you spawn in, you kind of get absolutely blasted. And also, sometimes the controls just don't seem to recognize that they can work. Like, they work sometimes, but sometimes they don't. I don't know. We're going to take it to June's, and we'll see if we can get any more testing done there. Okay, I mean, we seem to be working at the moment. My French decals are glitching out quite a bit, but that's okay. We can elevate, we can depress, we can move, and we can load. Can we kill a bunch of tanks? I mean, surely we should be pretty good at this. I can't see past the smoke, but yep, he's dead. We have so many bullets, and the enemy have so little armor. It's kind of a done deal. We just need to put enough lead down range to actually kill them. He should be gone. Alan, you could be a bit of a problem. We're going to pepper you with so many holes that I'm probably going to start lagging very soon. I really, really hope we do get a couple more scenarios soon, because stuff like this is just great fun, just goofing around once you've actually built the thing. There we go, victory. We have... Oh, and we've taken out the Alan, that looks like. Yep, there you go. So these 20 mils have about 70 millimeters of penetration, which is quite high, but not, like, insanely high for a 20 mil. Like, the German versions of 20 mils could get 60 odd millimeters of penetration in real life with their best rounds, so if we just pretend that they're being loaded with high velocity armor piercing, then yeah, 70 millimeters isn't completely out of the equation. But now that we have a moment to actually look at the tank, which is a bit weird that we've done it after the scenario, but I'm sure you can understand my reasoning. Hopefully you like the way that this looks. I mean, it's probably best described as not for everyone, because it is a little bit of a ridiculous machine. However, in terms of actual building, I think I did an alright job. The tracks are somewhat clipping through the side skirts there, but that's okay. Yeah, we got these 420 mils in little almost oscillating mantlet things on the... They're not even close to oscillating, I don't know why I said that. They're on these little mantlet things, as per the SKINK. If you don't know what the SKINK is, it was a Canadian, like, anti-air vehicle based on the Sherman. I just thought, because we had already got like a cast turret on the SKINK, and it was on a cast hull Sherman, or specifically a Grizzly, because that was just the Canadian-built version of the M4A1. A Samoa has a cast hull. Maybe that's an interesting thing to put it on? I don't know. That was basically my entire thought process. The first variant of this I was going to go for was like more of a Crusader kind of tank, but I completely messed up building it, so you get this instead. But yeah, I mean, we'll spawn in another one of these while we go. It's obviously not perfect yet, but you can now make these... The point I wanted to get across in this video is you can now make machine guns again in this game. That is something that has been re-enabled. Crew now have an efficiency value that you can adjust in a blueprint file. That's how I've done this, and that's probably how you're going to see quite a lot of designs from other people. I'm sorry about how little you can see when I'm opening fire with this thing. It is an absolute blinding beam of light. We've lost one of our loaders there, but most of our guns are still firing. I don't know what hit me. I think it might have been this guy over here. We've only got... Oh yeah, it looks like we've only actually got one 20 mil that's fully functioning. Two of them aren't firing, so we've either lost the gunner or the loader. Then one of them won't change its elevation, so we've lost the guy who's doing the laying drive. There's a lot of crew in this tank, if this can even really be called a tank. We can swap over to another one, to be entirely honest. This one hasn't got any dead crew members, and just absolutely blitz this guy with 1,020 mils. Is he even still alive? Is he even still in the smoke screen? We'll never know. It's Schrodinger's tank. Right, okay. Well, this is a little bit silly, but... I hit the map border and exploded. Of course. Well, there you go. This has been the French SKINK. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please have a like, comment, and or subscribe. And hopefully, we can do more stuff with this in the future. So given the last 3 videos have been quite experimental, we've had quad tracks, we've had the hydropneumatic suspension, of course, and now we've got these machine guns. Is there something you want me to do with all of these things combined, maybe? Maybe we do a railgun. I don't know. We go crazy. Let me know in the comments down below. You can also join my Discord. That'll be linked in the description. And there is a Tank Suggestions channel, or it's just called Suggestions. You can leave a suggestion in there. But that's all for now. Bye! And as always, a huge thank you to my YouTube super supporters, Yoki, Paloma, Marlon Gwecken, Cruiser25, Cody Fox, Peter Holmes, Peter Seafit, CamJam135, Stug3, and Terra. And a huge thank you to all of the regular tier supporters as well.